Well, it is that time again. Welcome to the Vengeance League stream, taking on a quarterfinals match between Save Our Souls and the Chosen Ones. I am Xenaero, and I am joined by Commissioner and co-caster HumanBones. How are you doing, Bones?
I'm doing pretty good. Like a bad marriage with good sex, we are back.
Oh, baby! That's the truth.
Ooh.
And it keeps on. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Alright, can we restart? No, we're not going to. We're going to keep talking about Save Our Souls and the Chosen Ones. It is a quarterfinals matchup to see who will face. Who are they going against? Godlike Forces in the semifinals. So this is a best of 5 matchup on maps Map 07 and Map 08. The home field we will be seeing first will be Obsidian Outpost, Map 07 from the Chaos Core map pack. And that is Save Our Souls home field. What can you tell us about these two teams?
Well, I think these two teams match up pretty well. Throughout the season, they've done. SOS has done pretty well. TCO, they basically qualified for the playoffs in the last week, so they had a little bit more of an uphill battle than SOS did, but on the surface, they're pretty well. They're pretty well matched up. So you've got SOS, you've got Aliens, Tiger, Turkey, and Slayered, and on TCO you have Daston, Salt Mine, Legion, and someone else. But the Agiskill, yes. So they match up pretty nicely with their positions. And when you look at the maps here, they're pretty straightforward maps. On the surface. So map 7 is pretty flat and wide open. Map 8 is simple in design, but as we've seen over the years, players like Daston have been able to utilize rocket jumping and take that map to a new level.
Alright, and when we talk about Doom Capture the Flag, we're talking about two teams, the teams of 4 that are shown in the bottom left and right hand corners of the screen right now. They field 3 players each, so it is a 3v3 matchup, and it is a race to either 5 flag captures of the enemy team or 10 minutes, whichever happens first. If 10 minutes elapses, then obviously the team with the higher flag captures will proceed forward. In the event of a tie, it's more or less considered a wash until we get to the 5th game, in which case the team with the most amount of rounds will proceed further. This is not like a typical regular season of Vengeance League where flag captures are the end-all be-all. In fact, quite the opposite. It is now who will come away as the winner of the round. So, that being said...
That is correct.
That being said, we'll hop in and see if we can give you guys a tour of at least one of the maps. Map 08, Map 7, in fact, the one we're looking at right now, is the map that you will see for rounds 1 and 2 because it is the home field of the defending team, the higher seed, Save Our Souls. And Map 8 is a much more blocky looking, familiar, old, ancient like us map that is the home field of the Chosen Ones, the red team. And we'll be seeing that in rounds 3, and if it's not a 3-0 slide either way, then we'll see it in round 4 as well. Round 5 will go back to map 7, the lava map, and then it will alternate from that point on until we have a winner. Hopefully it won't go to 10 rounds, but crazier things have happened.
That's true, and the game that we just casted this morning, you saw that when a team loses the first 2 maps, it can be pretty devastating to their hopes. To walk into a playoff game, lose your first 2 games, and be down 2 games to none. The team that's up is on match point at that stage. So it's a lot of pressure. So obviously the goal is to, at the very least, tie someone on their home field, the higher seeded team, so that you can maybe position yourself a little bit better down the line if you're trying to extend the match. But of course, winning on the enemy's home field is certainly not a bad thing to do either. So it just really depends on how the match unfolds. Like I said, these two teams, they match up pretty well positionally. So I think it's going to be a really close game. I think on these maps, it's really hard to have a team that's dominant. Like, I mentioned Dastin and his ability to rocket jump on map 8, but he's not the only player that can do that now. That's been expanded into a lot of players' arsenals, so I think you can look for a lot of rocket jumping on that map.
And that map will be pretty crazy to watch. As you said, people have gotten a lot better at that map. But map 7, now that is the map we're looking at right now. That will be the map we'll be seeing in rounds 1 and 2. This is a fairly newer map developed by Chaos Core and is relatively linear. Not a whole lot of lift tricks or doors to stop momentum. It will be more about controlling... I would say it's definitely more about controlling these staircases that lead into the bases and also the middle bridge or underneath it even. There will have to be a definitive mid presence here. And then from that point on, the base is kind of chaotic. There's not one point that you can lock down due to having an upper entrance in the base, crossing the bridge out at mid, and from that point on, I mean, there's only the staircase and that upper entrance, and that's about it. There's a lot of hard cover. It's tough to control after they get past the mid or the staircase, and from that point on, it'll be up to the teams to see if they can convert those touches to captures.
Yeah, that map 7 is not a map where you're going to find a lot of tricky plays. It's really just about, if you're a runner, finding your window where, you know, the base is empty enough for you to come in, maybe frag the defender once or twice and get out and have some cover in the middle. You know, you're not going to see, typically speaking, you're not going to see any kind of trick plays. I suppose the middle is wide enough that you might see some rocket jumps, like, you know, just to boost you across the map, but it's almost probably not worth it. So I think it's more of like a bruiser kind of map where it's going to be head to head, you know, classic, just classic high fragging, you know, bruise your way out of the base with the flag kind of map, which is a pretty big dichotomy to map 8 that we're going to see a little later.
Yeah, we will be having a more frag heavy kind of slugfest map to start, and then round 3 and 4 potentially we'll see a more technical map, which will appeal to a variety of different styles overall in this quarterfinals game. I'm sure the members of Godlike Forces are going to be watching these people pretty heavily.
Absolutely. We actually saw during the last game that the captain of Godlike Forces, Lang, he mentioned that he does not want to play map 8. So, if TCO is listening, this is your chance to agitate him just a little bit by winning this game. I do think that the maps itself favor TCO because TCO, to me, they have some really strong fraggers. If we saw last week, Salt9 actually led in frags. He had 160 frags during their game last week. We know Dastin is a crazy fragger, and Legion is also a very good fragger. So I think these maps actually might favor TCO, but SOS, they're sneaky, and you know they're really well coordinated. They have a lot of really strong synergy, and so they can make plays out of that. And sometimes, like we saw with PK3 earlier this morning, that can lead you over into victory. It looks like we're going to get a change map here.
And we're not waiting very long after the hub map here to get into round 1. Going to map 07, Obsidian Outpost. And we have a comment. Who's going to be on top of the frag scoreboard this map? Well, it's a pretty slugfest map for rounds 1 and 2. It'll definitely heavily depend on who gets posted up at mid. Mid will be probably the position to watch for frags. Going into round 1, we'll be starting off watching Turkey from SOS. Seeming to put some offensive pressure on, maybe get the first touch out, but dropped. Early pressure is pivotal early on in a series. You want to have that forward momentum. And nothing yet.
I mean, this is a really tough map to get a flag out on. I mean, it looks like it would be a little easier, but because it's so wide open, there's just not a lot of room to hide. So that's why I mentioned you have to look for your window to kind of bolt out with the flag. You're going to do a lot of fragging just to get to the flag itself.
it is a gauntlet, so to speak. No touches, or maybe 1 or 2 touches, but definitely nothing substantial. Tiger, he's already out to mid. Is there a pickup? It is not. It's returned by red.
Yeah, they seem to be, SOS seems to be doing a mixture of Tiger going for runs, and then Turkey will fall back and help the defender, and then once it's clear, he'll go for runs.
Saltmine with green armor. That damage reduction may help up to a point. Daston with a pickup, but it is returned by Slared. This map is very... Yeah, there's a lot of flags dropping at mid. Teams are not able to really cover each other to the degree that they need to really wipe out the entire enemy team chasing a flag carrier.
Yeah, that was a little bit of bad positioning from Turkey. He let the runner get a couple extra steps on him, and then he was gone. Luckily, his team was there to clean that one up. But you can see how quick stuff can change.
Already pretty frag heavy. We're not even at the 2-minute mark, and there are almost 100 frags total on the board. It's pretty wild how quick this map is unfolding. Frags are relatively even with people in the low and high teens. No breakaways as of yet. Saltmine with a touch needs to get out to mid, but blasted before he can. Daston with a pickup, and it's dropped and returned at mid. Again, mid, the big choke point on map 7.
Yeah, great pickup attempt from Daston. Got a couple frags there, but like it's just so hard to get out when you're going that main way because everyone spawns behind you with an SSG.
Yeah, this map is much like an earlier map we saw. Map 31, Mount Xenaero by Tango, where, you know, it really ends up being an endurance match. And Turkey with a great return there, as we saw, just intercepted the flag carrier. No chance in hell for them to get out to mid.
Daston was like doing some dance moves there, you know, really cutting those corners well, and Turkey just sort of followed him the whole way and got the return.
Legion with a return of his own, mutual return for the teams. No breakaway touches, no breakaway captures. Nothing to really offset the momentum. Teams are tied in round 1 of this best of 5.
Yep, Tiger getting a good touch, but Legion dropped down and got that return. Saltmine across. And a good return from Tiger there.
That was a pretty close return. Members of at least two members of both teams were out or surrounding that flag. It could have been bad if they didn't get that return.
Yeah, I mean, considering Tiger was the one that had the enemy's flag, and then he died and got the return afterwards. Pretty good series there from him. Got a touch from Saltmine.
A couple
He's
different
out.
touches. Tiger and Saltmine. Not only Tiger, but you don't have a whole lot of health. If you have to fight your way into the base, you don't have much health to speak of when you already have the flag, and that never bodes well for a one-man capture.
Yeah. Let's watch Daston almost getting out there. It's a hard map. Like, it's hard to know whether you should try to sneak in. But I find that a lot of players aren't doing that. They really are just trying to, like, force their way in. And it's not always going to work. Daston getting multi-kills.
And we have a breakaway touch here. And that is the first capture from Daston and the flag returned by Legion. So that is your first capture on the board. TCO 1-0.
That was the definition of Caster's curse.
And Slared with a capture of his own and a swift response to that first capture, showing that this is absolutely going to be a hotly contested game.
Someone in chat said Slared was playing offline skirmish, and he said, "Fuck you, I'm going to score this flag."
From offline to online, are you going to be able to translate those results?
Slared's case, yes. So it's interesting because Slared's been playing defense, so he got a capture out there. Good for them. They tied it up. Obviously, they don't want to lose their home field.
And there is strategy behind that with the entire enemy team in their base escorting their carrier. There is room for the defender to move up and at least assist, if not outright capture their own.
Yeah, I mean, that's a trend that we've seen mostly popularized by Ross King, which is sort of playing positionless. You're almost fighting the enemy team in, like, hordes, you know? If someone dies and the next player pushes up and runs. It's been an effective strategy for some players, but it's a hard one to maintain.
And it requires fluidity on the entire team unit and constant communication, something Ross King is historically great at. And that's why those positions work so well for them. But can every other team translate to that? It really does depend. You wouldn't think there's so much room to wiggle in a 3v3 game of this pace, but strategy does matter a great deal.
It does, and we're seeing some good strategy paying off here from TCO. They're getting a ton of touches. I think they're getting more flags out to the middle than SOS are, but you know, it's just a matter of getting that assault mine gets out to the middle again.
Looking at the
it's just a matter
now,
of
we have what Dastan Legion in mid 50s, salt mine.
Yep.
Primarily a runner, I believe, for TCO. He's holding his own at about 30, so is Tiger. I mean, frags across both teams total, not too much difference.
Yeah, it's pretty dead even in frags, obviously even in flags too, so... I mean, honestly, this is a map where unless you're completely playing against a team that's like full of people that have never played Doom before, it's going to be an even matchup. Dastan going out the top way, Slayered was there.
Out. No, Dastan
nice
dropped,
return.
and then Tiger has the flag, and he still scores. He was able to barely fend off a player chasing him. And that is... that's what? That's 2-1 for SOS.
Yeah, Slayered actually got the return because he was hanging out up top, but the same thing just happened to him, and he wasn't able to get it. So I think this right now is favoring TCO, this standoff. But Slayered is right behind the runner. Can he get the return? He does. And just like that.
And that capture happened just as the flag was returned. Tiger is standing on the podium. Please return the flag.
Yeah. You could hear the screams.
Oh, team box can be pretty crazy sometimes. But we're coming up on a 2-minute warning here. 3-1 in round 1. Favoring the defender, the holder of this home field.
Dastan basically just walked that out. I mean, he no resistance there. That was a bad series on defense for SOS. But they have less than 2 minutes. They got a 1 flag lead. They can hold this. They're in good shape.
Rushing Turkey putting some work at mid, clearing out 2 players and allowing for a defensive reset.
Yeah, at this point, SOS just has to do, impeccable job of communication. If someone's going to push up, they need to let the defender know where a runner is.
Turkey in a bag spot, but drops and allows the flag to be returned. With 1 minute left in the map like this, you can... I mean, TCO does have their work cut out for them, but they're putting up enough frags to where they could absolutely cover their carrier and tie this back up within a minute.
Oh, definitely. They've done some really good stuff here. The one thing I think SOS is doing really well is they're not turtling. They're not saying, oh, we're going to stop going for touches. They're getting just as much touches as they were. And that's kind of like the classic, strategy that you have in mind, because the team that's down, as Dastan gets across, not quite, the team that's down at this point in the game is going to be pushing to get as many flag touches as possible. So that leaves their base a little bit less defended than it would be normally.
Another fine line you have to walk. Turkey's is across. He needs to get onto the podium, nearly body blocked with disastrous results, but instead it bolsters their lead to 4-2. Round 1 all but assured in the bag for SOS.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good series. I think SOS did the right thing by continuing to press on for... Oh! I think that counts as a cap.
And that, I mean, the game has registered it. Second final capture for SOS. 5-2, round 1.
Yeah, really good performance from SOS there. That was great, what they did. You got to keep the pressure on in those situations. And they had good communication. They didn't let, that Dastan was flying into the base. I mean, he was getting some crazy, movement runs where he's grabbing the flag, but every time he grabbed the flag, he was met full force with a shotgun from someone on SOS. So good for them.
And we'll be heading back to map 7 for round 2 before we start switching up to a more technical map. One advantage of map 7's fairly open layout is you can get a picture of how the game is unfolding with or without communication, but that will absolutely not be the case in round 3 when we move to something epic.
Yeah, absolutely not. That map is get ready for some whiplash, some cross-eyed, because yeah, that map's totally different dynamic. But here we are, jumping into the second round of map 7. TCO has got to do a better job of making sure that they stop those tandem runs that Tiger and Turkey are doing. You know, and then they're throwing Slayered in there every once in a while. TCO just needs better communication on the defensive front moving into the second round.
And round 2 has begun. Teams moving out to mid and crushing opposition where they can. Try to get an early touch. Tiger with the flag, trying to get out, but fails. Daxton with a touch on the other side, and it's also returned. Round 2 shaping up to not have any early surprises so far.
Yeah, and Salt Mine's doing a good job of kind of playing that menacing person in the middle that's just trying to frag as many people as possible. And on a map like this, that's an important position. You know, you need to have somebody to clean up that barrage of runners that are coming into your base. So maybe this is a new strategy for him.
And at the end of round 1, frags were not... There wasn't a huge discrepancy in frags, showing it's fairly even across the board as far as the teams go with map 7.
Oh,
but Legion
some really good cover.
Pickup, and that worked out very well for them. That pickup was extremely key in getting TCO their first flag, and indeed the first flag in general for round 2, an early lead for them.
Yeah, so far in round 2, Salt Mine is the MVP. As I mentioned, he's doing a lot of cleanup work. He just missed that run from Slayered. Another great, you know, here we are, round 2. Slayered gets that cap back. You know, he's like, yeah, I'm tired of you guys talking shit.
Yeah, that quick response, again, resets the momentum 1-1. Going into round 2, SOS is leading.
Yeah, that first cap from TCO, though, was some amazing work from Salt Mine. He was covering the middle really well, covering his teammates. He managed to take out the entire enemy team and then pick up the flag and score it himself, so good for him. SOS managed to tie it up, and we're back.
We're watching Tiger right now, who ended up tying it up back up for his team. But not so much luck with every touch. But in Doom Capture Flag, not every touch has to be a capture. Just touching the flag forces the enemy team to recognize that, hey, we might have to watch for this, and it could leave them open to other plays as well.
Right. And if you can get a touch, you don't even necessarily have to be the one that scores it. If you can just get it out to the middle and let your teamwork do the rest, you know, that can do wonders for you.
Tiger out to mid. Is he cleaning away? No, he's just surprised from around the corner by Salt Mine.
Yeah, Salt Mine's his awareness in this round has gone up a level as he continues to help. He was doing some good work there, but he was not able to stop that member of SOS from getting into the middle.
And Salt Mine now the current frag leader, which is a change from what we saw in round 1, where he was trailing the rest of his team, but now he leads the entire board by 10, which is impressive.
Some good teamwork here from SOS. But they couldn't train it all the way, and now Salt Mine with a cap of his own.
Almost trying to body block, but there is a pickup from Salt Mine. That body block helped shield a little bit of damage for the carrier and let it get up to the steps where they were able to pick it back up and then carry it back to the flag stand. 2-1 for TCO.
I almost cursed TCO right there. I said he had a capture, and then they both got killed. That was some almost good return from SOS, but even better teamwork from TCO.
And just unfortunate that they had a forward spawn to pick it back up. That was a great shot, that a collateral boomstick shot that took out both the carrier and who was guarding him.
A boomstick double kill, not something you see very often. But we find ourselves with TCO up a flag on SOS's home field. let's see how they respond.
It would be. It typically is pretty huge when. Oh, this might be a red score as well. It is 3-1 for TCO. Tough to follow the flag carriers right now, but we're making do with what we can.
Yeah, Dastin is making mincemeat of SOS's defenders right now. He is just... His movement is impeccable. He's not hitting any walls. He's making all the shots. He's the difference maker in this game so far.
And we're going to free look a little bit just to kind of keep an eye on the overall picture because spy next to the people in a Blitz map is, can give you a little bit of motion sickness as they get dropped immediately after we switch to them. But carriers are getting rocked pretty quickly after they touch the flag, showing that both teams are defending very well.
Very well. And, I mean, SOS is getting their touches, but they're just not able to get the flag out to the middle. They're not able to get the flag out of the base. So that's something that they have to work on.
A lot of great work from Tiger here, getting 4 kills in quick succession. Needs to survive on the way to the podium, though, and does.
Amazing run.
Excellent run. Excellent cover from a teammate we saw push up past him. Says, no, you keep running, I got you. Now it's 3-2, a margin of only 1 flag between the two teams. And 4 minutes left, anything can happen.
Yeah, that was such good work from Tiger. That's what they got to do. They just... I mean, he got a mega kill on that, which I'm sure, didn't hurt him. But, I mean, every time you kill someone in their own base, they're just gonna spawn right there next to you, so you got to keep moving. And that's what he did well.
Saltmine ending up pushing out to mid, providing that frag cover, if not outright destruction for his team. It's able to cover a teammate, Dastin, up on the podium 4-2, thanks to the assistance of Saltmine.
Dastin had another good run of his own.
It shows how pivotal mid control can be in maps like this. Even if you're not outright killing and resetting the enemy team, you're doing damage, and that can make all the difference for a runner.
Yeah, you can't just... it does take, on certain maps, a special kind of back and forth as the mid player, whether you help the defender or help the runner. And in this game, Saltmine and Dastin seem to really have some good teamwork and synergy going on. I mean, look at Saltmine's frag. He's,
67 frags for Saltmine, 56 for the next place, which is Legion for his own team. So as far as frags, TCO is pulling ahead, and that's beginning to translate into cover for their carriers. It's translating into flag captures.
Yeah, and right now you're seeing SOS abandon the heavy fragging, and they're going more for touches, which is what they need to do, but they can't they can't abandon fragging because of that. They have to be able to do both. And on a map like this, I'm not sure if that strategy is going to work for them. As you see all 3 members of their team bombarding the other team's base. So
it's like benches are cleared, all hands on deck for SOS.
Yep.
Right now we're watching Turkey push in and get a couple frags of his own, but no assistance for the flag carrier who already got dropped, and a quick reset for both flags.
Yeah, Dastin hit a couple walls there, but this is the scenario that TCO, probably not the best case scenario, but one of the best cases. I'm sorry, Dastin just did some ring around the rosy stuff that was pretty cool. Yeah, this is the scenario that TCO was looking for, is to at least, have a chance to steal one home field map from SOS.
And that's, again, for a playoff game, that's huge for a team, a lower seed team, having to play the upper seeds map twice in a row. To take one map off them and then go into their own home field, that's massive.
Yep. Yeah, and we're pretty much seeing SOS's base completely empty here. Dastin is making runs, and whenever someone on SOS dies, that's when they're coming back to try and kill Dastin. So it's a risky strategy, but with a minute left, I guess you gotta throw everything at the wall here.
1 minute left, a margin of 2 flags for SOS to make up just to tie the round, which still is not a favorable result on their own home field to start off the series. They had momentum in round 1 and then got it reversed in round 2. Going into round 3, The player to watch is the player we're watching right now, Dastin, who has a penchant for rocket jumps and tricky maneuvers. Very key in a technical map like map 8.
Yeah, he's going to be the person you want to watch. Although, on the other team, Tiger, Turkey, Slayer, Aliens, all of them, they can all do the rocket jump. So, I think it's a little bit of a different dynamic. Whereas, if you look at TCO, they're really going to be relying on Dastin to do all that heavy lifting himself.
Ooh, and that is some good insight. Dastin getting a pickup. Last second score to end it out. That flag was just sitting there in the hallway. Brilliant move from Dastin to loop back around, pick it back up, and close it out 5-2. A reverse score from SOS's 5-2 in round 1. Complete role reversal.
Yeah, TCO did a good job of reacting to what SOS did in round 1. And I think the difference was they took Salt Mine and they said, okay, you're going to move up and you're just going to frag everything that you see in SOS base. And because of that, Dastin was able to get a little bit more free reign to grab the flag, and Salt Mine was able to provide some cover. So when TCO went up in flags, well, SOS had to start running more. And so that left their base more or less undefended, and that made it easier for TCO to get flags out. So really good strategy adjustment from TCO on that one. And now we're all tied up as we head into a completely different map.
The series is tied, which means that we will be seeing, at minimum, round 4. So we will be seeing at least 2 maps ahead on map 8, map 08, however you want to say it. Something epic is coming at you, hot and fresh, even though the map isn't really that fresh. That map has been around since the dawn of Capture the Flag, and it continues to persist. Antibiotics, I'm not going to get rid of this
like
map,
the rest of
sure.
us. It's like us, continues to persist.
They can't get rid of us.
So we're seeing some.
What is happening in this lobby right now?
We're seeing a little bit of delaying here, but it looks like now SOS is fielding a lineup that, they are without Slayer. That's not the person that I thought that SOS would sit, but you got to trust the process as we go into map 8. Really tough map to play for SOS against a dominant runner like Dastin. So yeah, let's see what happens here. I'm interested to see how SOS will deal with Dastin.
in there bullying the teams into actually calling the vote for map 08. We'll be getting into round 3 of this quarterfinals game.
Well, like I said last stream, you need a little bit of encouragement.
Look, sometimes they do it on their own. Sometimes you have to drop 20 question marks on them. Get the call vote on the screen. Let's get into round 3 before these teams are cold. We will be watching this series going forward. Teams are tied. Round 3, 1-1. TCO and SOS on map 8. Something epic. Somebody's already across the top. Who was that? Who was that
Tiger.
man?
Tiger spawned right by the rocket launcher, and he was already over into the base within the first 10 seconds.
And there's the man that we've been hyping up. Dastin already into lava by the time we switched to him. Tiger trying to get out the old-fashioned way, but cornered. That is tough to make. I mean, that used to be the only way to get in and out of the base, but as players have gotten better, that is a less common method to leave. Dastin has the flag. Where is Dastin? He's still... Oh, he's doing a nice trick jump that you can do. And
there you go.
A soft rocket jump up top. And that is your first score, ladies and gentlemen. That is Dastin's bread and butter. TCO's pivotal weapon in map 8. And perhaps the reason they even have this as their home field, Dastin's expertise with the rocket jump allows him to get from point A to point B practically as the crow flies. What a great rocket from Dastin.
Yeah.
Rocking aliens out to mid.
God.
And then a little bit of slowdown with the teleporter. There should be a pickup here. It is picked up by Legion. Kills the person right behind him. And then now TCO is looking at 2-0 with
Dastin didn't even want to help his teammate. Dastin said, okay, you got this. I'm grabbing another flag and I'm rocket jumping out right now.
Exactly what's happening. Where is Dastin? He's already
over.
This team can't be stopped. Only delayed as there is a mutual return.
Yeah, SOS finds himself in a really precarious position right now because, if they lose this, then it's match point. So they've got to adjust to Dastin. I mean, I think it's easy on this map to get overwhelmed by that, like right off the bat, because I mean, some of the stuff that we're seeing is out of this world. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, phenomenal stuff, really. Like, these are the plays that we love to bring to you. Dastin almost got up that lift. That lift has a significant delay. Some runners do like to trigger it before they hit the flag to reduce that delay time. And it really does depend on your situation. And it's this flexibility of options for both defense and offense that have kept Map 8 in the map pool for all time.
yeah, and I mean, I think what you're seeing with aliens right now is whenever Dastin is doing a rocket jump onto the sides, aliens is trying to make sure that he at least chips him before he's able to get over. So that's going to be the key. Is you can't just allow Dastin to get in and out of the bases without being seen. And that's a tall order. I mean, that's not easy to do, but you just can't let him have free reign of the sides of the map.
No, it's absolutely a great strategy from Aliens 2. Having played defense myself many times on this map, if you're able to chip the incoming runner, their options are limited, and that is extremely important. Even then, Dastin falls to Aliens at the mid. Aliens looking towards the sides every time. If not make them expedite themselves across mid, you're putting pressure on them both time-wise and even health-wise. And that is extremely important.
And you saw those first two caps come really quick from TCO, but SOS has slowed it down now. They said, okay, we understand what you're doing. Aliens, like I mentioned, doing a really good job of chipping Dastin. And as a result of that, they're getting more flag touches. But they need to get those flags out.
And we love watching Dastin try that soft rocket jump.
Yep.
We call it a soft rocket jump because there really is not much better terminology for it. It is excellent at mitigating damage from what used to be a classic rocket jump where you took the full brunt of that explosion. But now veteran players are able to know exactly how much thrust they need from that explosion.
Yeah, Dastin was trying to do a little bit of a sneaking in job there. But luckily, SOS is a little bit more wise to what he's doing at this point. So we're almost at the halfway mark now, and after those two early flags, Dastin's going to do another rocket jump here.
We can't see how much health he ended up losing, but it's not enough to stop him from getting across all the way up top. Another excellent Dastin run. Doesn't even need health because he does an instant reset with a rocket suicide, and he's right there to help stop the flag carrier from jumping up on his own as well, being dogged by both Legion and Dastin.
I mean, the thing about it is, like, once you get into a situation now where you're basically being completely overrun by one player, I mean, I don't know how you stop that. I don't know how you stop the bleeding in this round and turn it around. I mean, you can adjust, like, because you're never going to be able to stop Dastin 100%. But it's almost like this round could be considered a wash because it's just you're not going to get that momentum back as Dastin does another great run.
Yeah, I mean, we saw from Aliens' view that Dastin fired a rocket downrange, which eliminated Aliens, and also rocket jumped out. So, I mean, your options are limited as far as what you can do defensively. What is the answer? Do you post up mid a little harder? Do you... I mean, I'm not sure having defense is really the key.
I don't think so. I think, you need to strike early like TCO. You need to strike early and try to hold the lead that way. Dastin messed up the rocket jump there, but I think he's still going to get this one.
He still gets out. Are you kidding me? He actually gets out of that spot and he still scores. He gets up, right up.
Oh, man.
Climbs himself up, back up on the rocks. Excuse me, please. Getting right past you. I'm going to score this flag 4-0 for TCO. It's ridiculous. What is happening?
I don't know, but... yeah, this isn't really not good for SOS. Like I said, I think this round might be a wash for them. If they can come back, Dastin doing it all, getting that great defense there.
We'll watch Tiger for a little bit, but I mean, it's only a matter of time before we're looking back at Dastin, the pretty much captain Map 8. He's already out. By the time I switch
yeah.
to him, he's already across mid. It's ridiculous.
That's a match here.
That'll be round 1. As far as frags go, well, I mean, Dastin has 4 flags, but only 7 frags. So, I mean, you gotta do something about that.
Yeah, it's it's kind of crazy. I don't know what SOS is gonna do, but you know, they had some success with aliens sort of tracking what Dastin was doing. Yeah, Dastin had 107 frags, but he suicided 100 times, probably.
Yeah, people making fun of Dastin's frag count, which is always, you know, hilariously fun to do to players. But as far as being able to be stopped, well, man, Dastin is absolutely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, an interesting decision here as we saw aliens doing some good work towards the end of that round. We see him get taken out for Slayered. So let's see if this lineup that we saw victorious in round 1 can lead SOS to a round 5.
I mean, this is match point for TCO. They've turned it around from them being down by 1 round. They lost the first round, came back the second round on SOS's home field, and now they have absolutely dominated on map 8 so far. Going into round 4, it's match point for SOS, looking to move on towards the semifinals against Godlike Forces.
Yep, and Tiger is still trying to do these rocket jumps, but, you know, it's just not... Legion's actually doing a very good job of playing...
There was one defender that got absolutely burned there, but the other one was in a good spot to bring him down.
Yeah, this is just...
And that might be
so
the
hard.
answer. That might be how you have to set up against someone of Dastin's caliber, who can absolutely bypass, like, 90% of the base.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, right, SOS's best play here may actually be to play 2D and go for the tie if they can't get any flags out. Tiger with a good rocket jump. He's sneaking out. It was a good try, but
Yeah, I think
I mean,
he got
if they can
dropped
go
into
for...
lava.
Yeah. If they can go for the tie, then that pushes them into another round.
Let's see. You said Slayered got subbed in. Well, let's see how he's setting up. He's setting up kind of up top, looking down towards the flag. Gets Dastin.
Red flag taken.
Or no, who was that he just killed?
That was Legion that he did.
Oh, it was Legion.
I believe.
So
or
now
Salt Mine.
he's looking to clear out mid to allow his carrier in, but no dice on that one. Carrier dropped outside of his sphere of influence, let's say.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a good strategy from SOS to have 2D. The only problem with that, obviously, is that, you know, it's going to limit their touches, but maybe that's a good thing for them.
And we've talked about
Tiger's trying to push himself out.
Great clear from Slayered, but not out to mid quick enough to allow the adequate cover. For his runner.
Turkey missed a couple shots there that he could have really covered for Tiger, but you know, good attempt, and that's what they need to do more of.
And we do talk about a lot about how runners are improving, how crazy their technique has got, but defenders have also adapted very well, although the much more pressure is on defenders than ever before in Capture the Flag. Slayered is defending from the top in map 8, which never used to be the norm, but has been a new strategy ever since players have gotten a lot better at running and using multiple paths.
Yeah, it's kind of the flip of a coin, really. I mean, it's hard to say where the best spot to defend is. I mean, I guess it's whatever works for you, but I think generally speaking, if you have the higher ground, you're in better shape. So that's a good move from Slayered.
Turkey on the offense got a touch. Let's see what he makes of it. We don't know how much health he has left. He's got 2 defenders staring at him in the face. He can't get a frag out though. Dastin, comparably, however, gets 1 but can't get 2 by the time he's gunned down.
Yeah, and that was one of those rare moments where we saw Dastin not rocket jumping. He was just trying to get out, and he almost made his way out. So,
well, you can't take the same route every time, or a defender will have you on lockdown.
This is true.
Now, we have... It's possible that the Slayer, the change-out, helped a great deal. Tiger with a touch on it right now, but he's got a rocket launcher. And does he not have a shotgun? I guess not.
You know, that's typical Legion, I feel like. He's just like, you know what? I'm just going to run into you, and we'll do a mutual...
I mean, hey, it works.
Such a Legion move.
Not a bad idea, considering that the defender will get a reset.
Yeah, it's very smart, actually.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea against a lone rocket-wielding opponent in your own base. I wouldn't try it in the enemy base, though. It might not be so great for you.
Yeah, definitely not. Let's take a look at Dastin here. He's trying. He's waiting.
Jump. He does make it.
Uh-oh.
He's up top. Defenders are below, but they miss, and that's going to be first blood in round 4. TCO, and there's a flying corpse. You gotta love it.
Flag returns.
Yeah. I mean, SOS is doing a much better job than round 1, but...
Dastin getting a little frustrated there with... can't seem to hit his shot. Little shake of the camera.
And he's been really good at the slope jump. We got tired of it there too, but it's some stuff that we haven't seen, you know.
Now I'm not sure. Oh, there he goes through the eyes of Turkey, and it's a great return from Turkey. Actually, guns him down right across the lava pit. Flag does drop, and then he gets a follow-up frag from a supporting member of TCO.
You know what was great about that is Dastin rocket jumped across, and then Tiger did the same thing, and they just ran by each other. They're like, oh hey, you know, let's see who gets the flag up first.
What's up, buddy? Fellow flag runner.
Blue flag returned.
Once again, we're seeing Saltmine high up in the frags here.
Ooh, that's a good thing to check. Let's see. Saltmine pulling most of the work for his team. Turkey also pulling most of the work for his own team there, but Saltmine doing a great deal. I'm going to actually switch to Saltmine, see where he's playing, and yep, he's playing in that classic spot. I love to play on that short bridge, right below the window.
Yes. Yeah, you can get pretty much, you know, you can get the bulk of your frags just sitting down there waiting for people to drop.
Yeah, that's a great point of control, and it's something that, you know, like any high frag game I've ever had on map 8, I've always played like right in this spot. It's a great spot
to limit.
Spot. Yeah, you have a control over the close side of the map. You have control over the window and the staircase. So it's a great spot for any defender / mid player to help.
Tiger has a good position here. Ah, the flag is up on the ledge. Can they get it?
Flag taken.
Where? Oh, it's up on the side here. Tiger jumping up.
Tiger picked it up. Great rocket jump.
But he ate the rocket from Dastin, who also has the enemy flag.
It's still there. Someone
Dastin returns it. And Dastin
No.
looks like a superhero for his team, dropping right in front of the face of another runner.
So now all of SOS is over in TCO's base. They got the return though, so they're still alive here. They've made some progress. They've
stemmed a lot of the bleeding, but they're still bleeding. There's like internal bleeding right now because it's 2-0, and they have 2 minutes 30 left. What your options with this time frame on map 8 are so limited.
Yeah. Yeah, because their strategy was to do 2D to stem the Dastin bleeding. That limited the amount of touches that they can get. So now they're in this just really unfortunate position where they're limited on time.
It's almost a fool's errand in a long run because limiting yourself on offense has proven to be the downfall of so many different teams.
Tiger tried to do a rocket jump there, but he's going to go out the classic way,
and he's
going to get across. Could this be the first capture?
Oh, shot in the back! And returned by Dastin. Dastin may have been up top. I don't know.
I'm not sure where he was hiding, but... Oh, that's got to be so disheartening for them.
Dastin's across with cover, a little bit of body block, but I don't think any member of SOS can actually get to the flag in time. And it is a score 3-0. It's practically... God, it's... You know, I don't see I don't see SOS coming back from this.
I don't either. And I mean, I have to say, they had a really, really good season. I think they overperformed, what a lot of people thought they would be. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that they're all very good friends, and they had a lot of synergy. They did get a capture here, so let's see if they can do it.
Not a shutout.
Not quite. And they improved from round 3 into round 4. They got a couple more touches. They had their chances. They had a few standoffs. They just didn't go their way.
Yeah, they ended up getting broken down on their own home field, and then it just went from bad to worse on map 8. Not a whole lot you can do in this type of situation. I love how Dastin fakes out the defender, and he knows, and he returns it and scores. Oh my god, it's ridiculous.
That was a shame. But really good work from TCO. I don't mean to, not mention what they did. I mean, they came back from losing round 1 pretty decisively to switch it around completely, and then they took both maps on their home field. I mean, the stuff that Dastin is doing, you just can't. Normal people can't do that stuff. Very, very impressive win for TCO, and you could see Lang and Poto in the chat just hating themselves
look at
about having to play
frags.
map 8.
Like that was so much control.
Yeah,
that was taken away from SOS. 66 frags for Salt Mine. That's pretty phenomenal for it's pretty phenomenal for any mid player on map 8 the way it's played now. I mean, TCO ran away with this one. They reversed momentum on the second round, came away really strong on round 3, and then even round 4 they weren't really able to be touched a whole great deal. They didn't have an answer for Dastin, and Salt Mine was able to control a lot of the main frag power, and Legion filled in the gaps. That is team synergy. You have specialists who sit in their roles, and they do those well. That is what gets you from the quarterfinals to the semifinals. Next week we'll be seeing TCO moving on from this one to face godlike forces in the semifinals. The next matchups next week are going to be the Educated Drug Dealers versus the Pistol Kings 3 on maps 20 and 36, and then we'll be seeing godlike forces take on TCO on maps 43 and 8 respectively. Now, we did hear earlier that team captain Langranus did not want to play map 8. Well, too bad, buddy. That's not in your control anymore. You need to figure out a strategy.
That's the beauty. Yep. That's the beauty of home field picks, is you don't really get a choice. And you're right. I mean, SOS did all they could to stop TCO from scoring and stop Dastin. Well, now it's GLF's turn. So let's see what they can do. Because, historically speaking, Dastin's pretty unstoppable on map 8.
And that will close out this weekend, this week's games, actually. If you're interested in multiplayer Doom action, we do have the Multiplayer Doom Federation, of which HumanBones is a commissioner, heads up all the events, and administrates the Discord and the website. That is doomfederation.com. This is Vengeance League, a MDF production. I am Xenaero, and I will be waving goodbye to both you and to SOS. Unfortunately, we will be not seeing them going forward, but they played very strong. Thank you, Bones, for co-casting with me.
Thank you for doing this for us. We really appreciate it. Good work this week, everybody.
Super fun to watch these players take this ancient game and improve upon their own play, improve upon each other's play, and just keep delivering some wild stuff for all of us to watch. Thank you to everybody at home. Have a good rest of your Sunday, and this VOD will be uploaded to the Multiplayer Doom Federation YouTube as well. We'll be playing you out with a theme we've been using this week for the Vengeance League matches. Have a good one.